Hey everybody, Tim here, Headgear Garage. Welcome back. We have the TJ back in the shop. It's up on the lift. We're going to start by knocking the tires off of it. And then once we do, we're going to work on the cleanup of the frame and painting it. Getting that all spiffied up under there. Looking better. So let's get started. Okay, so like my plan originally was to get in here with a needle scaler, but honestly, I mean, there's nothing here so far that needs. Yeah, there's no reason, I don't think, to use a needle scaler on this frame. The inside looks the same as the outside. I don't think we're going to use the needle scaler. I think we're just going to clean it, hit it with some wire brushing or something, and just wire brush off some of the loose stuff and paint this bad boy.
We're going to go old school with the wire brush.
Alright, I mean, I knocked off the loosest stuff I could find. I'm not going to get the rust off because the stuff I have is paint over rust, so we're just going to spray off the greasy, grimy stuff. So. Alright, let's what do you think? Want to paint? Let's paint. My favorite. No, not at all. Hate painting. Let's paint. Alright, we're just about ready to paint. We got some plastic on the floor. Got all the arms of the lift covered with some plastic, taped off. Kind of looks like a mob. Typical movie mob hit scene going on in here. Hey, little Tony, stay on the plastic there. I got some work being done. Boom! Anyway. Yeah, same on this side. And we're just gonna get the chassis saver mixed up. And I had a brush laying here. Oh, yeah, there it is. Brush laying there. Good old Hobo Freight brush. And we're gonna slather it on here like we don't care. Okay, I don't have a real plan, so we're just gonna start here. Sound good? You guys see anything? It's dirty in here. How's that? A little better? All right, everybody, I got it. We got coated that paint on everything under there. Not everything. We got a coat of that paint on the entire frame. And I did both axles. And I painted all 4 shocks just for the fun of it. But I did not record me painting a lot of it once I made it the whole way around on the outside, because this stuff is, as you can see, this stuff is dripping everywhere. It is all over the floor, and I didn't want that on my camera. Got it all over me, but either way. So let's get a light here. Where's my light? All right, so you see, and it's still wet, so it's extra shiny, but I mean, I didn't get it all. I missed a few spots, I'm sure, but you can see in here it's starting to dry a little bit in there, so it's starting to dull out a little. But regardless, oh, see right there. There's a spot of mist. I gotta get that spot again. We did down. I did the got the gas tank all cover skid plate thing all painted up. See, here's another spot. Missed the whole back part of this frame. So and I missed the underside. That's why we're going around checking. See what I missed or not. Yeah, right there. Got all that. Just a spot right there. I haven't put the paint away yet because I figured I'd find some spots that I missed. And we're never going to get it all, so. All right, so let me go back through and touch those last few spots up. And then we're going to let that dry. And then I got some rubberized undercoating I'm going to spray the underside of the body with, and whatever else I can get covered with it. But the primary on that is getting the underside of that body, trying to do a little sound deadening. And then we're going to let this thing dry. I do have, I don't know, I drove it the other day. It was rainy outside, and after it, I drove it for a little ways, and it, you know, on the wet roads, it started just every now and again, it was kind of like a hit and miss sputtering thing. It didn't do it all the time, and it actually didn't do it like under acceleration. It did it while I got a call from Pipersville, PA. That's called spam. It did it when I was like holding a speed. It would just start to cut out. I don't know. I'm taking a shot in the dark here based on some forums that maybe it's the TPMS or the TPMS. Yeah, no, it's definitely not the TPMS. Maybe it's the throttle position sensor, the TPS. They're super cheap, like $9, something like that. So I'm going to throw that, and that's a cheap Jungle website one. So I'm going to throw one of those in it. It's not a difficult job to do. We're going to try that, see if it does it again. If it doesn't, then great, we got it fixed. If it does, well, then we got to keep looking. The other thing could be is a O2 sensor, primarily bank one, but I've already replaced that. So if that's the issue, now it's a wiring issue. We're going to have to dredge through. But either way, let's start with the simple $8-9 fix. I got it coming. It should be here in a day or two. And then we're gonna go ahead and wash, cut, and buff this vehicle and see how it looks. 'Cause I haven't washed it or anything since I got it. All right, it is the next day. We are back in the shop. We are back in on the TJ frame. Everything's good and dry. So let's get under here, spray her down with some rubberized undercoating. I got this stuff here. I don't know. Iron Armor Professional Rubberized Undercoating. It was on clearance at Harbor Freight. That's all I know. No idea if it's any good. But it's what we got. It's what we're gonna use. So let me get some gloves on, some glasses. I think I might put a mask on for this because I don't have any idea what's in this stuff. All right, that got really messy. I didn't want to spray it all over my camera, so I kind of stopped filming. I'm gonna do it smells really terrible in here. Glad I had the mask on, so I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough here, just to show you what we sprayed, and then we're gonna clear out of here for a little bit and let this air out some. So I sprayed the underside of this tank down, and then we got up in underneath here, sprayed the body down best I could. I missed a few spots, but I ran out, and yeah, there's a spot I missed up in there. Couldn't reach back in there very far. And that's spraying all over motors. I did get down along the edge here pretty well. Same on this side. Kind of got down in here again. You can see the spots I missed. I ran out. 2 cans did not go very far. Got up under here. Got as much of the stuff as I could. Like I said, I did both fenders on the inside, but I did do this whole skid plate just because I didn't want it to rust anymore. All right, we got all the undercoating done, the paint's done, everything's dried. The smell has cleared out of this room. Let's take a look at what we got. Oh, I mean, again, I didn't get everything, but I got 90% of it. It is so much better than it was. Big thing was, like I said, I wanted to get the floor coated. I didn't have enough to put 2 coats on. I wish I did, but I bought that stuff on clearance, and yeah, it is what it is. She's up there. She's looking pretty good. So our next step is going to be, well, our next step is going to be putting the TPS in, the throttle position sensor, when it comes in. Then we're going to do the wash and wax on this bad boy and see how she really cleans up. I haven't washed this thing since I got it. So, and I'll show you guys the floor here as well. I do have to finish. I'll show you guys the floor shortly, I guess, because I have to finish. I have to spray it. I have that truck bed coating that I used on the driver's side that I want to spray on the passenger side yet. I haven't done that yet. So as soon as I get that sprayed on there, and that'll be a complete project, I'll show you all that. But yeah, so we're kind of in a little bit of a standstill until I get that TPS. I suppose I could probably wash it today if I wanted to. All right, it is bath day for the TJ. Hey, I'm kind of a poet and didn't know it. We're going to wash her up. She has not been given a bath yet, but she is way overdue. All right, normally I would use a foam cannon, but this thing is so dirty that I want to concentrate panel by panel, wash it, rinse it, check it, wash it, rinse it, check it. We're just going to go around that way. So I've just got my bucket with soap in it and the pressure washer. So let's get started. Hit the roof first. right, we got it cleaned and dried. Now we're going to work on getting these wheels cleaned up. Normally would never consider using a brush on a wheel. These things are so beat up, it isn't hurting them any. So let me scrub the tire now. All right, it is rinse and repeat. We're gonna do this 3 more times. You got to spray this stuff on, and it's just a regular wheel cleaner I got. Just an automotive wheel wash. It breaks down the dirt and the debris off of it, gets the iron and metal products out of it. That's why you see it turning purple. It's getting metal out. But you got to let it dwell on there for 30 to 60 seconds. These are pretty rough, so try to let them go about a minute. And then we start the scrubbing. I just love watching that stuff turn to purple. I don't know. Just gives me a feeling of satisfaction that it's actually doing something. I don't know if it really is, but I feel good about it. This rim here is by far the worst. That center section is just all the coatings eat off of it. It's in sad shape. All right, it is the next day. We washed the TJ yesterday. I pulled it into the garage and let it sit overnight. Honestly, it wasn't for any other reason than I had other things I had to take care of yesterday afternoon. So I don't know if you can hear it or not. It is raining today, so what better time to finish up on this Jeep on the waxing and cut, buff, and polish, I guess is a better way to put it. So we're kind of got set up here. I got a pad on that, but we're going to start with this hood. It is pretty scuffed up and dull, so let's see what we can do. But let's take one last look at it before we buff it out. It looks pretty good on camera, but you can see how dull it is. I mean, again, this was repainted, and you can see the color change. This was repainted, but all of this, these doors are a different color. They're not the original. Let me get the light. This is my fancy inspection light. So yeah. You see it's got some scuffs back here where it's all hooeyed up. And again, you can see the drastic difference in color of the doors. May get around to painting that, may not. Now up here, somebody did some work to it. You can see where they tried to feather it in. There's a line here and a line right here. I'm going to buff on that a little bit, but you see it's rusty right there. There's a hole poking through. Another hole getting ready to poke through right there. And again, so I'm assuming this is all patch in here. There you go. See that? There's where it isn't polished. So, I mean, it's doing quite a bit. But it isn't turning this into, you know, big show winner, that's for sure. All right, there is the hood with a good cut done to it. Like I said, the paint on it is, it's rough, but it did bring some shine to it. Got that grime off of it. Let's pop this hood up in the air and let's work on that fender a little bit. I think that's going to be more fun. All right, again, so you can see it. There's a line here and a line here. And down here, right here, right through there, there's another line where this whole area has been patched and painted, I'm sure. And I honestly don't know that, I'm going to try it with a little cut polish, but I don't think that's going to do it. It is very rough. All right, well, I mean, I'm not going to say it's great, but it's different. Again, apologize for all the noise. It is raining outside, so when you got an open tin roof above you, no insulation on it, you tend to get a little bit of noise. But there's some work to do in here. That's hand work. I can't get it. I don't have the small bucking tools, unfortunately. I don't do it for a living, so. But honestly, it came out a lot better than I expected. I mean, it's obvious right where everyone paint line changes, but it took the haze off of it. So let's take a quick break while we see if this rain's going to stop, and then I'll bring you right back. All right, well, looking at the weather forecast, it appears that we are going to be in this rain event until around 5 o'clock. It's about 12:40 now. So I'm still going to get this job done. But like I said, I'm just going to set you guys up off in the distance do it over time lapse because there will be just terrible audio based on the noise coming in through the roof here. Let's see if we can't buff out a few of these scuffs and scratches here. I mean, this whole panel is just bent and caved in. It's in rough shape, but that doesn't mean we can't try to work the scratches out. So let's see what we can do. All right, obviously those deep scratches, there's nothing you can do about those, but like here and here, but this whole thing was covered with them before, so I'm gonna call that a win. That looks a whole lot more presentable. Feller coming out of the pub would hardly notice that. Let's move on. Let's call that good on the cut. Now we got to do a buff. Yay. Let's clean up all the cut stuff so we don't cross-contaminate and bring out all the buff stuff. Buff stuff. Buff stuff. All right, let me get that cleaned up and set up. There she is. Take a look at that beauty shining like a diamond in a goat's butt. Just a real testament to what you can do with just a little bit of elbow grease and time. Not a lot of money. I mean, look at the reflection. There's still some work to do. I got something I want to try on the flares here, see if I can revive them. You didn't see me doing the tailgate or the grill and a couple of other areas. I did those by hand without the machine. So, I mean, fortunately the tailgate you don't see much of, but it doesn't work quite as well, but with the elbow grease you can do it. Let's turn a light on over here. Yeah, with that elbow grease you can do it. Got a little shine going over here too. Like I said, you can really see when you get a good light on, you can see that big difference in those doors. It's that obvious in person too. It's not just the camera. But what are you gonna do? Those are the doors that are on it when I got it. Those are the doors that are gonna stay on it. If they upset me too much, we can paint them. But they pop right off, so come summertime, probably not gonna have doors on it anyway, right? The work to do this, to polish these things up, is it's pretty simple. It's not that expensive of an investment. I have this Bauer DA buffer. Obviously it's a Harbor Freight model. I've had it for a few years. I did the hack to it where I cleaned out the head unit in it and repacked it with better grease. Makes a big improvement. The biggest investment you're gonna have is that and these. there's only two of them here. There's a fine and a, well, I have these in the wrong, I have the wrong lids on, but yellow in this case on these Bowers is your fines and blue is your coarse. I'm only showing two of them on the cart, but that's where your investment is. These are like, if you watch on sale, I think they actually come out with a Grant version now. I want to try some of them, but I have a bunch of these, and I actually, just in this tiny vehicle, ended up using 3 of each. I just didn't show me changing them. And then you can get this at Harbor Freight as well. This is the Meguiar's Mirror Glaze. Now this is 205 and 105. I think what they sell now is 210 and 110. So you have your ultra finish polish and your ultra cut compound. Again, I think these are like $20, $25, something like that. And that's a guess. Don't hold me to that. I don't know what with the market and the prices and everything right now. I don't know what they're at right now. When I bought these, I bought them on sale. I bought several of them. I bought what they had because they were getting rid of the 105 and 205 to change it to the 110 and 210, which to me there was no difference in them. They had the same ratings. It's just I think Meguiar might have changed them. The Bauer, I also have the smaller Bauer. I like this one better, but the other one works great too. If you want to save some money, it's like $40. This one's like $70, but you watch for sales. You never buy anything at Harbor Freight unless it's on sale, right? I think they have a sale coming up here. This is we're in March right now. We're in mid-March, and they're doing like 10 days of deals or something. And I think I saw that one of the things they're going to have is their polishing stuff is going to be there. So if it is, I'm going to go over and try to grab some of if their pads are on sale, grab some of their new Grant pads. But so yeah, for that small investment, you can really make a difference in a vehicle. I mean, this thing, now I did go back through and I cleaned it down, and then I sprayed it with a spray polish, just a spray wax, just to seal it in. That'll be enough for this, but super smooth now, super clean. Let me go turn this light off so we're not blinding the camera. But yeah, I wiped it all down. I cleaned the grill and sprayed it, waxed it as well. And I went through and scrubbed up and took the last of that decal off the windshield. That mirror actually, I don't know, it's not in the right place. It's in a terrible location. I'm tempted to go get the windshield glue and move it. It should be over towards the passenger side more and up more. I don't know why so it must have fell off and they glued it back on the wrong spot. But you can actually, it's weird because when you're looking at it, you can see where it belongs, where it was glued, and they still glued it on a different spot. But anyway, in here, floorboards are all painted up, cleaned up and painted up. I rust treated them and then used that truck bed liner on them. And same with the rear floor. Here's where I had that small hole. Now we have a TPS to put in. I don't even know if this is gonna fix the issue or if it's something faulty with that brand new O2 sensor I put in. I might raise it up in the air and ohm it out and make sure it's working properly. If it isn't, take it back, because that thing was not cheap. Okay, we are after the TPS, throttle position sensor. I took the intake off, air intake, I'm sorry, just the air intake off from the air filter over. But right here's what we're after, TPS. So we got to unplug it. And it looks like maybe 10 mil. I don't know. Can't really see them. Maybe. I don't know what they are. I might have to get my glasses out. Anyway, let me get it unplugged. See how hard that's going to be. Two screwdriver job. Let me set those down so I'll never find them again. Well, we got our typical Amazon fashion here. Here's the original. Got a nice little O-ring on it. Yeah. This one, no O-ring. Good heavens, that wind is blowing. Yeah, no O-ring. It's a different shape. I mean, everything else looks the same, but I don't have an O-ring for it. This O-ring doesn't fit in it. It's too big. Plus, that might have been half my problem. Huh. Well, let's see if I got an O-ring. Stand by. All right, I got an O-ring in there. Yeah, I don't know. Let's give it a try. We'll keep this one on standby in case this one's a piece of crap, which I have a bad feeling it is. Didn't hear that satisfying click, but it's on there. Let's put this back on, fire it up, see what it does. All right, let's get in here, fire it up, see what she does. As soon as I find the keys. Found them. Doesn't look to be leaking, so that's good. I don't know. So far, so good. No check engine lights on. Yet. It's a big yet. Seems to be running at a decent idle. I don't know, I'm gonna say, what is it? 8 to 900, 7 to 800, something like that. Give it a little pep. See what she does under a little load. I don't know. Seems to be running okay. I think, fingers crossed it's not the O2 sensor. It was just that. At this point, the O2 sensor won't be, hopefully, you know, knock on wood, won't be too hard to get back out of there if it is that. Like I said, if I get another check engine light, another 0135 code, which is the upstream O2 sensor, I know that's a new one, so I'll hit it with the ohm meter there and just ohm it out to see. Service manual on this says it should be at like a 5 amp thing. So, you know, we'll just crack her on there and test it and see what it's reading. That's a lot easier because that's just unplugging it. Either way. But I think for now we've had a successful test drive with it. Then we got a little sputtering issue that I think that fixed it, but now we've fixed all the holes, cleaned it all up, polished it all up, and I think it's looking pretty darn good. So I'm going to call it all a win for now, and say that unless something else comes up with it, we are done on the Jeep TJ project in time for some summer fun. Still going to drop the hood, but got a little shine on the tires. I threw a spare tire cover on it real quick, just to, you know, doll it up a little bit, make her look a little fancy. I hit these with a little coating, a black restorer, black trim restorer. They are so bad that even with that, they just basically went to a lighter or a darker shade of gray, but they look a lot better, believe it or not, than they did. Never did clean this engine bay, and honestly, I don't plan to. This is just gonna be a driver, a fun driver. That's the biggest reason I'm not worried about these doors being the wrong color, because at the right time of year, they pop right off. Just honestly, just take the retaining strap off, lift them right up out of the pins, they're not bolted in, pop that top off, and that's how this thing's gonna be most of the summer. It won't go out in the rain just simply because it won't have a top on it. But I also did go through and pull that old neoprene seat cover off the back, and that seat's in remarkable shape. So kudos to whoever put that cover on there for saving that seat, but I like the original look better. Not against seat covers, I just like good seat covers, and that one, well, probably a good one, it had worn out. But again, rims look a lot better after a good cleaning and shining up the tires. Again, they are shot out. The coating is all missing off of them in several spots, and they're bad, but they look good. She's a good 30-footer at this point. 30 feet away, you're looking at this like, hey, man, you got a showstopper there. From 3 feet away, you're like, okay. But she's beat, wrinkled, and worn. She's showing her age and her scars. She's wearing them well. But she's solid. Let's take it for what it is. But hey, thanks for watching. That's going to do it on the TJ project. We're moving on to something else. Got something exciting over here under a whole bunch of covers and tarps and stuff like that we've been working on a little bit here and a little bit there. We're going to nail that video out here real quick. I think you're going to really enjoy that one, so be sure to stay tuned for that one. But as far as this one goes, let's call it a day on that. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the series. I do have another TJ project coming. It won't hopefully be this one. It's the original TJ that I worked on for my cousin. He's bringing it back here in another month or two. We're going to do a 3-day thrash on that thing and try to, just try to spruce it up. Just spruce it a little bit. So stay tuned for that video as well. And we got some parts we're going to throw at it too. There's a couple things it needs, but it's the one that had the bad rear end in it. The the main gear and the rear end there, the spiders were going bad. Well, they finally blew on him. It's in the shop. He sent me a message yesterday. It was in the shop getting a whole new rear end put in it. So it'll be spot on, ready to go here in another day. But thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. Please consider smashing that like button. Also, please consider commenting. I love to hear them, love to read them. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Tim, Headgear Garage, we're out.